For daily ask Reddit. Make a wish workers, what's the weirdest request you have gotten? I work for a non-profit that does more fundraisers, and we usually set up a wish wall that has a lot of pictures of more kids getting their wishes fulfilled. I think my favorite one is one where a young boy around 10 wanted to shoot a car with an RPG and watch it blow up. They set him up with squad of real Marines and a ballistics team in the LA desert, and he absolutely got to blow up cars with an RPG for a day. His picture was him in his specially made Marine camo uniform and helmet posing with the RPG. I honestly don't know how they got away with it, but that kid knew what he wanted, and he got it. Nephew had terminal brain cancer at 8. His make-a-wish was to see lions. Small community, so he got mass funding. Ended up sending him to Africa for a bunch of safaris and bunch of helicopter rides. Had time of his life. Make-a-Wish is now the organization I donate to the most now. Oh my god. This dredged up a long forgotten memory. I don't remember the details all too well, but I'll do my best. So, a friend of mine did some work experience a while back. I'm not sure if it was Make-a-Wish, but it was a similar organization anyway. They got a request from some kid that wanted to marry his favorite anime waifu. I'm serious. The people in charge of this, I'm not sure what they're called, were completely clueless and had no idea what a waifu was, so they just went along with it. They ended up getting in contact with the game developers of said waifu and tried to make something happen. They wanted some sort of video or message from the anime girl addressed to the kid. The developers refused and said that would not be possible. In the end they had to get him a different wish. Man, that was a strange one. Former wish granter here. A big part of the job is helping the child decide on their wish. The final wish has to be feasible, of course, so you're there to make sure it isn't too outlandish. But, in my experience, kids often don't initially think big enough. It was not uncommon at all for a kid to request something super small like going to Chuck E. Cheese, and we'd have to build the wish out from there. Also, we had to make sure parents didn't try to influence the child's decision, which I saw many times. I've only done a few. The cutest one that's been requested is a trip to New York to ride the subway along the entire subway line and buy all of the model subways at the store. When the dad heard, he rolled his eyes and said that they'd just gone to New York recently and said he expected either that or a visit to the zoo to feed the penguins. They were by far my favorite family to work with, and a very loving, goofy one at that. We haven't done their wish send-offs yet due to COVID, so it'll be nice to see them again once this is all over. I hope when he goes on his trip he'll be treated really well by the subway conductors. Not a wish granter, but a parent of a Moore kid. When we went to the Moore house for my son's star raising, they had a board with kids' photos and their wish. One that made me laugh was the little girl that wanted to hear Mickey Mouse burp. Imagine the stress of the guy in the Mickey Mouse costume trying to let out the best burp. You've got one shot, but if it's just some weak half hiccup half burp, you're gonna ruin everything for that kid. That dude was probably chugging a 2 liter of soda in the back for prep. Former junior genie. The vast majority of wishes are pretty common. Disney, WWE, trip to Paris or Japan. Because more is locally funded, your donations go to your community. Depending on your region, you can get some pretty fancy wishes. So I wouldn't say this wish was weird, only that it was different. A kid was obsessed with Dukes of Hazzard and the car was going to be at a fair along with some stars. We threw everything at him and still stayed way within budget. He got limo to and from, a bunch of ride tickets and tokens for games. We got him special guest seating and one-on-one time with the stars. I'm sure he had the time of his life. But altogether, it was a few $100s and a couple of favors. If the fair's attitude when working with us was anything to go by, he was treated like an absolute king. I remember that case fondly. It doesn't have to be more, but I strongly advise everyone to spend some time working with an organization that gives back. They are some of the best memories. It's very humbling and inspiring work. Make-a-Wish worker's son here. One time my dad had one of the kids he worked with request that they get feet pictures from some popular Twitch streamer. Obviously he had to turn it down, but offered the kid the ability to meet said streamer, but he turned it down. Only cared about the feet. Weird.